Boy, boy, boy. All right, Atlanta Falcons fans. Dan Quinn did the unthinkable and firing all three coordinators. Do you hear me? He fired all Steve Sarkisian, Manuel, and Keith Armstrong. Bruh, all you Atlanta Falcons fans that said that that Dan Quinn need to be fired, that the Falcons need to be more aggressive and show the world and show the team that we need a championship, that we need to take this organization and winning seriously. This is a huge step. This is big, bro. Not only did he fire Steve Sarkisian, he fired Marquand Manuel, a guy that he was big on. But one thing that really stood out to me is that this is going to be huge for the Falcons. Is Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, everything. Play calling, decisions, everything goes through him. And this is the best thing for this organization. Dan Quinn, if you want things done, you have to do it your damn self. All right? No more of this. No more of this. No more experimenting with defensive coordinators. Dan Quinn is one of the best defensive coordinators and defensive coaches. And why are we at a point to where Dan Quinn has to take a backseat, try to make decisions for the offense, the defense, the team? This team needs defense. They need Dan Quinn's expertise. All right? This is big for this team. Huge for this team, bro. I thought for sure that Steve Sarkisian was gone. Maybe Marco Emmanuel would come back in some type of role. But this dude got rid of everybody. And I'm positive that Arthur Blank has something to do with this. But this is huge. I don't know about you guys, but this is huge, though. This is huge, man. Big time. To have this guy, oh my gosh. Just let me know what you guys think, man. A big, big, big step in the right direction for this Atlanta Falcons team, man. This is big. This is humongous, all right? I want to know what you guys think about this, man. Let me know what you guys think the Falcons should do. Offensive coordinator. We're seeing whispers of Gary Kubiak, and Ian Rappaport just made a tweet the other day, announcement that keep an eye on Gary Kubiak as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Bruh. Oh my gosh. I'm just so happy, dude. I'm happy, for one, that this team finally made a big, bold move. Now, I know this isn't, free agency yet, but this is a step in the right direction that the Falcons needed, okay? They needed this. They needed to get rid of, they need Dan Quinn to step up, mold this team into what he wants it. And we all know he can do. Bruh, this is huge. This is big. Oh, man. Got to get a shout out to Marcus Graves, Cedric Frazier, Muhammad, Falcons extraordinaire, Antoine Smith, Magma Dude, Rocky Yang. Man, appreciate everybody being in this, man. All you guys who are in this thread, man, in this stream, just let me know what you guys think about this, man. 34 of you guys out there, hit that like button, man. Trying to get at least 30 likes for this video. Subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel. But man, let me know what you guys think about this, man. as far as the offensive coordinator having Gary Kubiak come to the Atlanta Falcons, man, what do you expect this announcement that he would be the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons? Let me know what you guys think about this, man. Any of you guys have questions? My thoughts on things, should leave that. But I think this is huge for the Falcons, bro. This is humongous. This is big time. This guy didn't waste any time. He got rid of everybody. And he had a presser not too long ago where he was basically saying that the Falcons need more coaches to step up and stop being yes men. Dan Coach is a brilliant head coach. When you have a bunch of yes men who are afraid to give their opinion, who are afraid to stand up to Dan Quinn, afraid to stand up to Arthur Blank and Thomas Dimitroff, this team will never succeed. Now, a lot of people, including myself, ask Kyle Shanahan. But one thing that I can give Kyle Shanahan credit for is that this guy does not take, he's not an ass kisser. If he believes something, he's going to make it known to everyone. And this is something Steve Sarkisian for me. Alright. And this is something from Steve Sarkisian that I thought from the very beginning that he was just a yes man. That, that the Falcons had in place to just come and be a temporary coach, a temporary offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons until Gary Kubiak decided to come back to the NFL as an offensive coordinator. All right, I say this because my man Lieutenant Dan, unintentional ground man, we had a long conversation about this, about Dan Quinn hiring Greg Knapp to basically be a spy for the Atlanta Falcons, because they knew for a fact that Gary Kubiak would be making his way back to the NFL. And this is an easy system in place. System is already in place for Gary Kubiak to come and be the offensive coordinator. At this point, all you have to is to get a guy to get Gary Kubiak's assistants, which the Atlanta Falcons have a ton of assistants from his tenure as the Denver Broncos offensive coordinator, head coach, and whatnot. He has a ton of those guys. Gary Kubiak, Greg Knapp actually brought a couple of guys here. You have guys like Zane Beatles. You have Ty Sombrello as another guy who was a former offensive lineman for Gary Kubiak. And like I said before, this system is already in place for Gary Kubiak to come in to be successful. You have the number one league. You have Cavalry, a young guy. You have Mohamed Sanu. You have a up-and-coming tight end, a Pro Bowl tight end, and Austin Hooper. And by the way, Gary Kubiak, his style of offense, he utilizes the tight ends. So you get Gary Kubiak in this system. Austin Hooper will be a major threat, be a major problem. Now the offensive play calling will change just a little bit as far as the running backs are concerned. They will no longer, quite possibly, I don't think they'll be utilized in the passing game. That just isn't something that Gary Kubiak does a ton of. He has done in the past, but for the most part, he likes to use his wide receivers and his tight ends. Tight ends are huge in his system. So when you bring Gary Kubiak, and you bring in Dan Quinn, man, two coordinators who know what they're doing. This is just big. This is big for the Falcons, man. The Nation, David Wright, Mr. Icon, Terrence Holm. Appreciate you guys joining the live, man. We got 60 people in this live, man. This is big. Let me know what you guys think, man. For real. Seriously, I want to know what you guys think about this this decision to get rid of every single one. Dan Quinn has said, screw it. I'm getting rid of everyone. I'm starting over. No more yes men. If he can't get it done, all right, if these guys couldn't get it done, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, and special teams, Keith Armstrong has been awful for the last 3 years or so. I mean, this year was painful to watch. I mean, we had Justin Hardy we had Justin freaking Hardy at returner. Mr. Fair Catch. Mr. Fair Catch as our returner. He's one of the slowest guys on the team. Why the hell is he the returner? And Marvin Hall, a guy who can catch anything. The guy can't catch, bro. And he's the and he is the returner. He dropped a pass. He dropped a punt. No, he dropped a kick yesterday against Tampa Bay. He dropped a kick. He dropped a pass that hit him right in the fucking face. And this is the guy that Keith Armstrong has as returner. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. We have the players, but we need the coaches to put the players in the place. All right, we need these guys to put the coaches to put these players in the right position to be successful. Dan Quinn and Gary Kubiak, excellent guys who've been to war. He's been in the trenches. These guys know what they're doing. Offensively, defensively, these guys know what they're doing. Going through the chat, do we trust Gary Kubiak? He's a hot name, and I'll be expecting him to want another head coaching gig. Do we trust Gary Kubiak? At this point, I think, due to his health issues, and he retired because he had heart issues, I don't think head coaching is something that he would want to be in. I think offensive coordinator is perfect for him. He doesn't have to take on too big of a role. There's a lot of stress when it comes to being being a head coach in the NFL. I think there's something that Gary Kubiak doesn't want to be. I mean, he doesn't want anything to. I trust Gary Kubiak as an offensive coordinator. I think he'll be here for at least for the next 2 years. If he decides he wants a head coaching job, I think he is the perfect guy that could, if he decides that he wants to leave for another head coaching gig, Kubiak will provide the Falcons with a capable offensive assistant, offensive coordinator that can take over where he left off. I totally trust Gary Kubiak. All right, no problem with that. The Falcons need to draft a returner in the 7th. They definitely need a returner, Antoine. Man, anything is better than Justin Hardy and Marvin Hall at this point, man. It's pathetic. I mean, you look at this guy. You got Russell Gage, a guy that I think is pretty damn good, special teamers. The Falcons can go after a guy, Godfrey, a guy that I think it would be a tremendous upgrade for the Falcons if somehow he slips to the 4th or 5th round. Is Miko Harding, Miko from Georgia, man. I really think that he could be that speed, that 3rd, 4th speed guy outside of Julio and Calvin Ridley. He can return. And like I said, man, I think this is, like I said, the Falcons just need to get the coaches in place where they can just get the best out of these players. And they're not getting the best out of these players. They're fundamentally a wreck. These guys, the basics, when you look at a linebacker's perspective, guys are overrunning plays. stupid penalties, the guys not doing what they're supposed to do, tackling. I mean, it's just horrible, horrible coaching, man. Anytime you have players that they have way too many, um, you have way too many penalties. They're not making enough plays. That all goes back to coaching, man. And this year, we look at the defensive side of the ball. These guys aren't making plays, man. They're not making the regular plays. All right, the basic plays. Shooting the gap control. And like I said before, man, if you don't have the coaches in the right position, the right spot, man, these players will, okay? These players will struggle. These players will struggle, man. They're going to struggle. And Jamal Washington, he knows the system and has been winning and has won the Super Bowl. So I know, yes, I definitely agree with you, Jamal. He definitely knows the system. He's been in the trenches, like we said. We need coaches and players who've been there before. Enough of, I understand having young guys. I understand having young guys and whatnot. But you need coaches. If you're going to have a system in place, you're not going to have a young team. You have to have coaches in place that are capable of teaching these guys and have been through the wars and who've been through, the Super Bowl, the playoffs, the struggles of the NFL, know when and when not to do certain things. Steve Sarkisian, Marco and Manuel, the guys that just haven't had a ton of experience. They don't have a ton of experience, and that's just a bad decision by Dan Quinn. It's just a bad decision. Let's just call it what it is. It was just a bad decision to have two young offensive coordinators to basically look over a young team. Just a bad decision. And I wanted Marco Manuel and I wanted Steve Sarkisian to work out. But these guys just aren't experienced. This team needs experience. And that's just the fact of the matter. And Muhammad, Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Devontae Freeman, and more, all of them coming back. And that's even more. And this is just huge for me. You get a guy like Gary Kubiak to come in, put his system in place. He knows how to put a system in, implement a system, and try to his best to learn players on the fly. I don't think that'll be something that he'll struggle with. He's a veteran. He knows how to maximize players. So I'm not worried about that, man. I'm really not worried about that as far as Gary Kubiak is concerned. Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, those guys are going to be excellent, big time. They're going to be big time increases for the defense, man. You have Keanu Neal, who is an excellent guy as far as run stopping. Another guy, one of those guys, he plays like a linebacker, and the Falcons definitely need him to be, that guy in the box who can make the tackle, because, one of the things that plagued the Falcons this year was, just missed tackles. Guys shooting the wrong gap, and then, just overrunning plays and not reading the plays correctly. All that can be, can pretty much rectified when you have a guy like Ricardo Allen and Keanu Neal who know what they're doing. So I'm really looking forward to what this defense could do with Dan Quinn finally full time as the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. I'm looking forward to it, man. If you want it done the right way, do it your damn self. And this is what Dan Quinn is doing, bro. Man, Gary Kubiak will have a damn field day with this offense. Man, this offense will be so exposed under Gary Kubiak. He has so many weapons offensively. Tight end, Eric Saubert, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, still up in the air with Tevin Coleman. You have Ito Smith, and perhaps you have Brian Hill next year. The Falcons have a tremendous offense. I mean, he really doesn't have to do much besides bring in the offensive lineman that he likes, bring in the coaches to implement his system. And Gary Kubiak it's simple. This is probably the easiest job and the easiest job he would have if he comes to Atlanta to be offensive coordinator. He really doesn't have to do much. He really doesn't have to do much, man. David Wright, I agree with you about our special team. How is it that Andre Robbins was a really good return for 3 years in Arizona? He come to our team in 2017 and showed glimpses of success. That goes to tell you, man, if you don't have the coaches in position, man, to one, coach these players up and maximize these players, it doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't matter. Talent can only take you so much, take you so far. You have to have the coaches in place to help maximize and put these players in position where they can succeed. And this is what the Falcons coaches have not done the last 2 years or so. Under Sarkisian and Marco Manuel, the Falcons have not done that. I mean, yeah, Robert goes to the Jets and he makes the freaking Pro Bowl. He's with the Falcons and he was non-existent. That tells you a lot, man. It's all about coaches and maximizing players. Maximize players' ability. This is what this is about. And this is one of the reasons why I was so reluctant on saying we need to trade Vic Beasley, we need to do this and trade True Front. A lot of these guys just aren't put in a place where you can maximize their ability, man. No, I'm not happy with Vic Beasley. No, I'm not sure if I want to pay him $12, $15 million a year. No, I'm not sure. But we have to give him, you got to give him some leniency, man. The coaches haven't done a good job of putting these players in a position to succeed, man. They really haven't. These just been bad all freaking day. All night, all year, this just been bad, bad. And even when this first began, man, I thought that, oh no, Steve Sarkisian was a questionable hire. All right, anytime you hire a guy from college who knows very little and has very little experience in the NFL game, you're taking a huge, okay? You're taking a huge risk. All right? This guy knows nothing about the players. He knows nothing about the NFL game. And you hire him as your offensive coordinator to come in and run the offense. That's a bad hiring, man. That's a bad decision by Dan Quinn. And like I said, I like Dan Quinn, but we got to call a spade a spade. That was just a bad idea. I wanted it to work with Steve Sarkisian, but it just didn't work. Just a bad idea. Bad, bad, bad. Terrible. Patrick Staggs, man, great skill players, but terrible linemen. That's what it is. I think the Falcons have players in place. When you look at the offensive line, you have Jake Matthews. You have Wes White, who I think is better suited for inside zone scheme, the scheme that Gary Kubiak runs. He doesn't run a ton of outside zone scheme. He can, but he does. He likes to use the inside zone scheme. So his style of play calling better suits Devontae Freeman, Edo Smith, not so much Tevin Coleman. So I expect Tevin Coleman to hit free agency. I don't think the Falcons will give him a ton of money. We saw what D-Led reported that Tevin Coleman is acting for at least a $30 million payday. Just don't think that's going to happen. The Falcons just can't allow that to happen. They don't have the man. They don't have the cap space to do it. You have Freeman contract. You have Desmond Trufant's contract. You have a lot of contracts. Just bad contracts. And with the Falcons, the players that they have to sign, you have to sign Deion Jones at some point next year. You have Keanu Neal's coming up. You have Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett. You still have to figure out what these guys. And I expect the Falcons to franchise tag Grady Jarrett. I don't think they'll get a deal done in the offseason. They have Julio Jones to restructure his deal, get him a new deal. The Falcons, they have a ton of things to do. So I expect Grady Jarrett to be franchise tagged, and then work on the deal in the offseason. I expect Robert Alford to be gone. Um, that's for sure. He's definitely gone. Isaiah Oliver will definitely be the starting corner for the Atlanta Falcons next year. Robert Alford just gone. All right. Justin Bethel is another guy, Muhammad, that I think will be back. He's a special teamer. Bleedyway Wilson is a guy that I think he can step in to be that fourth cornerback. Brian Poole is a guy that I don't think the Falcons can afford to put a third round tender on him, so I expect them to decline that. Him become a free agent. I like Brian Poole, but what the Falcons are doing, man, and what they have, I just don't think any team would want Brian Poole as a third corner. To me, I put a second round tender on Brian Poole. Hell no, ain't no team going to do that. So I don't think the Falcons will pick up Brian Poole's option. Put a tender on Brian Poole. Uh, Looking at you guys, comments, man. Why start from scratch? What's good, Laffy Taffy Liver? Um, why start from scratch? The Falcons are in no place to start from scratch, man. I don't know exactly what you mean by start from scratch, but I will say this: when you look at the offense, you have a ton of playmakers. You look at the defense, you have a ton of playmakers, and the only thing that you would need on the offensive side of the ball is a better offensive coordinator. You have the running back, you have the receivers, you have Alex Mack, you have Brandon Fusco, Jake, you have Jake Matthews. So the offensive line is pretty solid. Um, Defensively, you have playmakers on every level. You have playmaker. You have Tat McKinley, Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley. Those guys are pretty damn good. I expect Bruce. To be back. Bruce Irvin to be back. You look at I expect Jack Crawford, Bruce Irvin to be back. You look at the linebackers. You have Foye Olokun, Duke Riley, Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell's a guy that I think Falcons may look to trade. I just think he's lost a lot of value this year. You can get maybe a fifth to seventh round pick for Devondre Campbell's a guy that the Falcons at some point in time they will have to pay him, and I don't think they'll pay him. So he may become a guy that the Falcons could trade in the offseason. David Wright, some of the dumbass. Laffy Taffy Lover. Some dumbass said we should bring Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator. No, Chip Kelly needs to stay where he at, wherever the hell that is. I think it's in college. But no, Chip Kelly is a horrible offensive coordinator in the NFL. Much like Steve Sarkisian, he tries to bring that college play calling to the NFL, and it just doesn't work. All right, this is a different league, a more mature league. Guys are smarter, faster, quicker, stronger, and you just can't call that weak, predictable plays in the NFL like you can do in college. There's just two different styles of offensive play calling, man. You can't have that in the NFL. And David Wright, Matt Ryan, 422 completions, 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4,924. And look, man, the guy's just always, all right? The guy's always on the top. He's always, and this is why the Falcons paid him $150, $200 million to be a quarterback. He's that damn good. Period, point blank. Madison Walker, well, it's time to sign Mike McCarthy to offensive coordinator. I think Mike McCarthy is a good offensive coordinator. I'm not sure how he would fit with the Atlanta Falcons. He does run a West Coast offense, but Mike McCarthy doesn't like to use the running game much. That has always been a weakness of his. This is one of the reasons why he was fired in Green Bay because he didn't protect. He really didn't protect Aaron Rodgers the way he should, and it kind of ran its course. This league is changing, man. The league is changing. These plays, these players, the play calling are completely changing. You need running backs. You need to be balanced in this league. You can't be as physical as you used to be. So these guys have to be. They really have to. They must be consistent. They must be, balanced. The Falcons have a terrific. Uh, the Falcons have a terrific passing game. And that's what Mike McCarthy excels at. So I don't think he's a perfect fit, a good fit for the Falcons. He's an excellent play caller, but I don't think he's just a fit with the Atlanta Falcons and what they want to do. What Dan Quinn wants to do is be balanced. And, Mike McCarthy has always been one of those guys who lives and dies by the pass. David Wright, Gary Kubiak can come in and take Matt Ryan to even higher heights. Just look at his ice numbers as Gary Kubiak check. Look, man, when you look at Matt Ryan in this system, Gary Kubiak and Kyle Shanahan comes from the same tree. So it's a perfect fit for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is a quarterback who loves to throw to his tight end. This is why Austin Hooper is a Pro Bowler. This is why the Falcons went out. And what I believe it was 2011, 2010, 2011, I believe it was, when they went out and traded for Tony Gonzalez. And Tony Gonzalez was a big time threat for the Atlanta Falcons. All right? So the Falcons, Matt Ryan loves to throw to the tight end. This is something that Gary Kubiak does. He likes to attack the middle of the field. He utilizes his tight ends. He did a great job of getting his wide receivers the ball. You can go back to Houston where they had Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was one of the best. He's definitely an all-time great. Andre Johnson is a guy that was a big-time player for Gary Kubiak. So he knows how to get his players the ball. I think now the play call will be a little different. I think the next year we'll see less and less. If Gary Kubiak is the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, I don't think we'll see a lot of running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. That's something that Gary Kubiak can do, but for the most part, Gary Kubiak likes to use his tight ends in the passing game and attack the middle of the field. C-Can. I got to disagree about the O-line being solid. We need to strengthen. This O-line is solid. All right. I'm not saying that the offensive line is great. When you look at the Falcons' need, you have Jake Matthews at left tackle. Wes Schweitzer is a guy that I think he's getting better. He still has a ways to go. Yeah, you still have Alex Mack in the middle. As long as you have Alex Mack in the middle, those offensive guards, you don't really need your guards to be, incredible. All right, Alex Mack is going to do his thing. He's going to do his thing, man. So you look at Brandon Fusco. He's coming back. He's another veteran. You have Tyson Barlow as a guy that could take over for Ron Schrader because I don't think Ron Schrader will be back. I could be wrong, but Ron Schrader has just been awful. So I think the offensive line is solid. You go out, you can draft the offensive lineman in the third or fourth round, the later rounds. I don't think you use a draft pick with the first. I don't think you use a draft pick on an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds. I just don't think the Falcons need that. Um, Ron Schrader. Johnny Talk Sports. This is the same guy. This is the same guy that said that Dan Quinn needs to be fired. Now you want Dan Quinn to stay. Adam Gase is offensive coordinator Todd Bowles. I agree with Todd Bowles being the defensive coordinator, but since the news has come out that Dan Quinn is taking over the defense, we probably won't see Todd Bowles in Atlanta. All right, unless he comes to be a defensive assistant or something like that, I doubt that we see Todd Bowles. So we can scratch him off the list. Uh, Adam Gase is a pretty good offensive coordinator. If the Falcons don't get Gary Kubiak, I think he's a pretty good play caller. He just didn't have a lot of weapons in Miami. Ryan Tannehill just freaking garbage. All right, uh, let's just be. Oh wow, yeah, Ryan Tannehill just garbage. Ryan Tannehill just garbage. So I don't think Adam Gase. We see the best from him. Um, I think he's a terrific offensive coordinator. The Falcons, if they don't get good Kubiak, I like Adam Gase. Terrence Holmes, I'm not expecting much from the offense. We got to stop with these offensive changes. It's only hurting. Although I agree with, we have to start with the changes, but at the same time, if these guys aren't working, why the hell should we keep these guys? All right, why the hell should we keep Steve Sarkisian if these guys aren't getting the job done? Why the hell should we keep Marco Manuel if he's not getting the job done? All right, Matt Ryan is a terrific coach. I'm a terrific player. You don't need a guy to come in and try to get Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, these guys on the same page. These guys know what they're doing. So what the Falcons need is an offensive coordinator who knows the game, who knows how to come back what other defensive coordinators are doing, how to come back. Like I said, one of the things that plagued the Falcons all year offensively, the Falcons couldn't do. Steve Sarkisian couldn't figure out simple things like when to use Tevin Coleman out of the backfield when team blitzes. He didn't know how to call plays for Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper is a major threat in this offense. The guy's a Pro Bowler. He caught over 70 freaking passes. He was the second leading receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. And why wasn't Austin Hooper a primary threat in the Falcons offense? All because of Steve Sarkisian, his lack of knowledge and lack of knowing when and how to get these guys and maximize these guys' talents. That's something that Steve Sarkisian did not do. So why keep these guys around? And you feel bad for Matt Ryan? I don't feel bad for Matt Ryan, man. Matt Ryan is going to be Matt Ryan. He knows the system. Dan Quinn says the system will not change. All he would do is just continue to bring in coaches who knows the system and can come in and pick off where they left. And just as simple as that. That's the beauty about this team, man. They have a system in place. They will not deviate from that system. So you bring in a coach like Gary Kubiak who knows the system. All he has to do is just come in and learn the players, what they like, and pretty much just get these guys in position, maximize these guys' talent. That's all you're looking for. So I've even heard guys that say you know, they want Dirk Cutterback. I've seen some dumb shit. I've seen some dumb shit from fans. Like, they want Dirk Cutterback. These guys, come on. No. Just stop it. No, we don't need that. We don't need this. All right, we don't need offensive coordinators who don't know how to get things done. We don't need that, bruh. No, absolutely not. United we rise up, stay woke. All right. Dan Quinn needs to focus on the defense, man. I think this is great. Like I said, I think this is the best thing for this team, man. The best thing for the defense is Dan Quinn to just focus on the defense. He makes the calls. No one else is. All right. We don't want Marco Emmanuel coming in and making changes. We don't need Marco Emmanuel calling the plays for Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn needs to take over the defense. And I think this is the best thing. This is the biggest thing. This is huge for the Falcons. Dan Quinn is a hell of a defensive coordinator, man. A hell of a defensive coordinator. He knows his stuff. He knows how to maximize his players. He knows what he wants from these players. So you get him running the play. Yeah, this is big. I love it. Tevin Coleman, 167. Oh, oof. Wow. Tevin Coleman didn't run for 800 yards. Eesh. Ouch. Ooch. Ooh. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad, man. That's really bad. Eric S. We need better pass rushers. I think the Falcons have pass rushers. They just need. It's all about depth at this point, man. The Falcons just need guys to go along with Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley. You can't get it done with just three pass rushers. You need guys who can come in and spell those guys in certain times and positions, man. And that's exactly what the Falcons, they will address in the draft. They need a guy who can come and play alongside Tack McKinley, play alongside Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle that everyone has in mind. I think the Falcons are most likely three guys that I think the Falcons will draft that are high on the draft on my draft board, and I think the Falcons two will look at these guys. One is Jeffrey Simmons, but you have to take and this is something that Dan from Unintentional Ground has said before. The real Deep Patman, all those guys affiliated with Unintentional Ground, and we talked about this, and this is something that Falcons may pass on Simmons because of his domestic violence issue. Don't think he'll be Atlanta Falcons, so we may be looking at Christian Wilkins, Rashawn Gary, and quite possibly Ed Oliver. I don't think Ed Oliver will be there, but you can't count it out. You never know in the draft, man. So I think the Falcons definitely need a defensive end in the base, a guy that can come in, stop the run, get to the quarterback, but enough with the small defensive ends. All right, enough of that. We need guys with size. Christian Wilkins is a guy that definitely has size. Dexter Lawrence is a guy that's coming under a lot of scrutiny lately. Don't think the Falcons, and I don't think the Falcons want to travel down that road with guys with performance enhancers. I don't know the truth behind the matter with Dexter Lawrence, but I just don't think the Falcons would want to go down that road again with guys with performance enhancers issues. Just something that I don't think personally. The Falcons need to move Grady to the outside. Grady Jarrett is one of those guys like Aaron Donald. He can succeed inside. He can rush the passer, whether inside and outside, but he's better suited inside where he can take advantage of the defensive tackles where they can just use, he can just use his speed and quickness against the slower offensive guards and centers. So Grady Jarrett definitely can play some 4 or 5. He definitely can, but he's a 3-tech all the way, man. Grady Jarrett's a 3-tech all the way. He can't play 1-tech, but he's a 3-tech. Grady Jarrett is a pass rusher. Period. Point blank, man. He's a damn nightmare inside. Again, defensive line is suspect. We need more blitz packages. That Dan Quinn definitely will implement as defensive coordinator. He knows how to use his players. He knows what he wants from his players. So we most likely will see more blitz packages. The Falcons are actually one of the better blitzing teams in the league. So when you look at it next year, man, the Falcons, I expect the Falcons to be much more aggressive. Under Dan Quinn, he knows what he wants from his team. He knows how to build his defense and how to maximize his players. These are his defenses. This is his defense. So you fully expect the Falcons defense to be much more aggressive next year, man. Desmond is solid. Alford is a buy. That's definitely a damn. That's damn. That's the truth, man. I like Desmond Trufant. Desmond Trufant is another one of those players like Vic Beasley, being put in a position where he maximize his talent. He's playing within Dan Quinn's system because of guys like Robert Alford, Brian Poole. These guys are just mismatches, and they're not really good in coverage. And guys like Robert Alford, not Robert Alford, Desmond Trufant, suffer because other guys are not as good as they are. And quite frankly, the Falcons have to play a lot of zone because of Brian Poole and Robert Alford being so damn trash. So when you look at it, man, I don't think Desmond Trufant is a problem. His contract may be a problem, but at some point, I feel that the Falcons will, get to a point where Desmond Trufant will restructure. Um, that's just my opinion. I think he will restructure, but I don't think Desmond Trufant is going anywhere in the next 2 years or so. Mohamed Sanu is the best number two in the league. Yep, I can't disagree with that. No, I can say he definitely that Juju. I don't even know how they. I just call him Juju Smith. All right, Schweitzer, Schweitzer, whatever his name is. Juju. I just call him Juju. All right, the receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's the best number two in the league. Mohamed Sanu is right behind him. He's definitely improving every year he's been with the Falcons, man. This guy puts up big numbers for the Falcons. He's a big target for Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan, at this point, I don't think Calvin really is ready. So I expect Mohamed Sanu to restructure his contract and be back with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Falcons can afford to have Mohamed Sanu gone. I think he's an excellent guy for the locker room. Everyone in the offense and team love this guy. The fans love him. I think Sanu would definitely be back for the Falcons, man. The secondary D line is trash. This is not true. The secondary is probably the best unit on the Atlanta Falcons team. You look at Isaiah Oliver, Desmond Trufant, DeMonte Casey, Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal. Those guys are excellent players, man. Excellent players. And when you line those guys up with any team in the NFL, yeah, you have a guy in DeMonte Casey. If I'm not mistaken, he led the league or is tied in the league with 7 interceptions. And this guy's a second year. Just think about what he can do with Keanu Neal and Ricardo Allen. Come on, just think about that. Think about what he can offer. Think about what he can do with those guys behind him. Now I expect to see Ricardo and KZ kind of, alternate between free safety and the third cornerback position. DeMonte Casey said that he likes to play more towards the line of scrimmage. He doesn't like to be in the backfield, being a safety guy. He likes to be around the ball. So I expect the Falcons to kind of do alternate between DeMonte Casey and Ricardo Allen. Falcons are set, man. These guys are set. These guys are set in the secondary. They're probably one of the better units in the NFL. No pressure on the quarterback because he stay playing zone. Yeah, I mean that's just Dan Quinn. All right, Anytime you don't get to the quarterback, it doesn't matter whether you playing man or zone. All right, you don't get to the quarterback, you're not going to make a ton of get a lot of turnovers. You're not going to make a ton of plays. Quarterback can just sit back, and just pick your team apart. So it's all. It really is all about getting to the quarterback. You can affect the quarterback immediately by having a guy like Grady Jarrett who can get instant pressure and disrupted rhythm and the flow of the offense. All right, the team instantly becomes a problem. Dirt Cutter, hell no. That's for damn sure, man. Um, you've seen the offensive number and thoughts. The only team that has more weapons statistically is Deshaun Jackson, Goodwin, and Adam Humphries. Um, Dave Red, I love the Falcons' weapons, man. Like I said, the problems have never been the Falcons' position players. They have some of the best weapons in the NFL. The problem with the Falcons has always been offensive linemen. If these guys can continue to stay healthy, you get help. You get help on the defensive line by stopping the run, be more physical. The Falcons team is set up for the Super Bowl. They have the playmakers there. You just have to get the right coaches to maximize their talent, and get the defensive in there to basically be tough. The Falcons need attitude on defense. They need more guys like you need more guys like Bruce Irvin. You need more guys like Tack McKinley. Guys that have these nasty freaking attitudes, all right? That want to fight, that love to fight, that love to talk crap. That's what the Falcons team needs on the offense. This is what they need on the defense. This is exactly what the Falcons need. So the Falcons have the weapons. There's no shortage of weapons on the Falcons team. There's no shortage of weapons on this Falcons offense. They have the weapons. It's all about the trenches, man. Address the trenches, and this Falcons team is immediately a Super Bowl contender. No doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Bruce Irvin been better than Vic. Bruce Irvin is a guy that's a veteran. He understands what he is. Vic Beasley doesn't understand what he is. All right, it's all about experience, and Vic Beasley just hasn't come into his own. All right, 2016 was one of those years where he definitely put it all together. Everything just came together. Uh, Vic Beasley is only missing one thing when it comes down to it, and it's just an alternate move. All right, anything besides that damn speed rush, he just needs a secondary move. He doesn't have a secondary move, and we can contribute that to just lack of knowledge and just a guy that just doesn't believe that he needs help. That's probably what it is. But Vic Beasley uh, and Bruce Irvin, I think those pretty much the same guys, man. It may come down to the money. Can we keep Vic Beasley? I'm not sure, but I know damn sure. I know for certain that we can bring Bruce Irvin back. So if Vic Beasley doesn't want to take a hometown discount, if he doesn't want to stay with the Atlanta Falcons for less money, well, we're definitely going to have Bruce Irvin back. So I'm not worried about the defensive end, to be honest. Tack McKinley, Bruce Irvin, Grady Jarrett, Christian Wilkins. I like it. I love it. I don't think Quinn Williams from Alabama will be available for the Falcons. That guy's a special talent, and he's not falling to the Falcons, man. I'm seeing DeAndre Baker names being brought up. Shoot, I don't know about that. I don't think the Falcons are in need of a cornerback at this time. You never say never, but I don't think DeAndre Baker fits what the Falcons need just this year. If he falls somewhere in the second round, the Falcons, which I doubt, but the Falcons may look at him. But DeAndre Baker is definitely not coming to the Atlanta Falcons, man. Andrew Reeves wants too much money. 115. I don't think Grady. I think it'll cost Grady Jarrett just because of the market. Grady Jarrett is definitely is a top 5 defensive tackle in the league. Um, he's always in the top 2 or 3. He's always in the top 3 as far as pressure from the defensive tackle position. Grady Jarrett definitely is a player. Where he receives $20 million a year, the defensive tackle, a contract similar to Aaron Donald, hell no, that's not going to happen. But I think Falcons will come to an agreement where he will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 million a year. Oh, Sherrod Neesman is a guy that the Falcons, and that brings you bring up an excellent point. Sherrod Neesman will definitely be a guy that will be back for the Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion, to take over the role of Brian Poole. And like I said before, a second round tender for Brian Poole, I just don't see it happening. I don't think any team will give up a second round pick for Brian Poole. So I expect the Falcons to decline the tender for Brian Poole and bring back a guy like Sherrod Neesman, who I think played excellent. He played excellent. All right, so I like Sherrod Neesman coming back to the Atlanta Falcons. Ben, do you like the Falcons finish the season, or would you rather see them tank? Hell no. I never, like I said before, man. I want to see a team finish hard. I don't like to see a team fold. I don't like to see teams sit back and say, "Okay, we're just gonna quit and we're not getting a top pick." I don't like that. I think it's. I think this is a situation where you want to show your team, and as far as a head coaching concerned, you never want to get in that frame of mind where you looking at your team and telling these guys to tank on purpose so we can get a better player. I just don't think you want that type of mentality on your team. I always say finish strong and just go from what you know. If you draft well at the position that you draft, all right, it doesn't matter where you pick. It's all about who you pick and how you can develop talent. The Falcons can develop talent. Dan Quinn can develop talent. They've shown in the past that they can develop talent. So I'm not worried about the draft position. All I'm looking for is how a player is going to be utilized in this system, and get the best player available. And this draft is deep in defensive linemen. Like I said before, you have 2 guys that I'm really looking at, and that's um, Quinn Williams is not going to be there. Wilkins is a guy that I think will be back with the Falcons, man. Will be drafted by the Falcons, not be back with the Falcons. But I like what Wilkins can provide for the Atlanta Falcons, man. I think he's an excellent compliment to Grady Jarrett. President Saeed, or whatever the hell his name is. Man, I'm good, man. This live. Just doing this live. Going over questions, man, for all these Atlanta Falcons fans, including myself. Just really, 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 really excited about how things are going with the coaches, man. Firing Steve Sarkisian, Marco Manuel, and Keith Armstrong is an excellent, excellent decision by Dan Quinn, man. I love it. I love the way everything is going right now. We should pick up. We should only pick up 2 free agents. Right tackle. Couldn't agree more. Disagree more. I think the Falcons have to try to figure out some way to get rid of Ryan Schrader. He's been a nightmare. I mean, he's been benched. How many times do a player get benched twice in 1 year? You would think that Ryan Schrader would get better after he's been benched, but he got a second chance, and he got benched again for Ty Sombrello. So I think the experiment with Ryan Schrader is pretty much all but gone. He's definitely gone. Don't see him coming back. And if he come back, it'll probably be for salary cap purposes. Yeah, you just have to bring in a free agent and a draft a guy in the lower rounds to kind of groom him. Happy to see the Falcons win, but you want the Falcons. Look, man, I really don't care. I like to win. I never want to get in the frame of mind where we expecting to lose or we should lose on purpose. I just don't like that shit. Opinions on Josh McDaniels. I'm not a Josh McDaniels fan. I'm not a Josh McDaniels fan. I think he's one of those guys that is just like Mike McCarthy. He benefited from a terrific player. Mike McCarthy benefited from Aaron Rodgers, and so did Josh McDaniel. He went to Denver, tried to implement that same uh, offense with Denver. It didn't work out. I mean, the guy drafted Tim Tebow for fucking sakes. All right, he drafted Tim Tebow for God fucking sakes. So hell no, I don't want Josh McDaniels on this team. If he's gonna draft Tim Tebow as your as your quarterback, fuck no, I don't want him anywhere near. I think he's overrated, to be honest. I think Josh McDaniels is an overrated offensive coordinator who only benefits from Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I'm not convinced he's a good offensive coordinator. Sheldon Richardson may be a guy that Falcons should look at. I think that's right. You never know. Sheldon Richardson and look, anyone that can play alongside Grady Jarrett and be an adequate run stopper for the Falcons, it's an upgrade. Instant upgrade. So I like it. I think we all Falcons. I think we all want Kubiak, man. Andrew Wilson, I think Calvin is our man. Definitely, shoot. I really believe that Calvin really will be a Pro Bowler in the future, but just not right now. I think maybe next year you can probably look to transitioning him. It really depends on how he attacks the offseason. If he really wants to become a great player, then Calvin really will hit the offseason and step up and be that number two and stop with the drop passes and the mental mistakes. Eddie Kane, fuck that, capitalize on draft every draft pick. Yeah, man. Look, man. Like I said, look. It's all about the draft and developing those players, man. Got to develop players. This is what the league is about. You have to know how. You have to know how to develop these players and maximize these players, man. That's what the NFL is all about. Maximizing these players, man. Um, I remember we had McClure, Claybo, Dahl. It's all about chemistry with the offensive line is concerned, man. Once you have a line that is on the same page, these guys are, they complement each other well. Perfect. That's all it's about. Chemistry. This is what football and offensive line and defensive line is about. It's all about chemistry, man. I think the Falcons have a solid offensive line. I really do. The real is the trenches. Get some dogs, man. Dimitrov and Quinn cannot. Well, the Falcons have done an excellent job with both lines, to be honest. I think the issue is has always been the problem with the offense and the offensive line and defensive line has always been depth. You need depth. These guys get tired, heavy snaps. You just need other guys to step up, and that's the problem. You look at Brooks Reed. You look at Terrell McClain, who hasn't done a damn thing all year. Falcons just don't have a ton of guys to step up. You know, when Grady Jarrett and Tack McKinley, these guys get tired. So you need depth on both offensive line and defensive line. It's all about depth, man. Somebody brought up Madison Walker. You brought up Brent Grimes. No, we good. We can keep that Miko Grimes away, that crazy heifer away from us. We don't need that. We don't need that anywhere near. Oh, that's a good name, Rasheed Hateman, man. Yep, not Rasheed Hateman is one of my favorite players, man. But unfortunately, he had that domestic violence issue, and Arthur Blank said, "Hell no, get the fuck off my team." That's one thing about Arthur Blank. He does not play with that domestic violence issue. He does not play. Anyone with a domestic violence issue, your ass is not going to play for the Falcons. Keith Armstrong definitely long overdue. I don't see how he made it this. Yeah, I don't see how he made it this far. Losing is never tolerated. Yeah, man. I'm just not. I'm not a big guy that's just big on tanking. I just don't like the idea of we're gonna try to lose on purpose because we're gonna get a so we can get a top five pick. I don't give a damn about a top five pick. I care more about maximizing what drafting well, developing the player where he is, and doing what the best, doing what you can do to the best of your ability, man. It doesn't matter where a guy is drafted. Doesn't matter where a guy is drafted. Matt Ryan was the third quarterback the third player taken. It wasn't the number one overall pick. We've seen so many number first. I mean, just ask Cleveland. How many fucking number one picks they've had? Top picks they had at quarterbacks. Doesn't matter where guys are drafted. It's about developing players, man. It's all about developing players. It really is. Wow, it brought up. Dang, 90. Oh, man, you bringing up a lot of people. Allen Russell. I haven't seen that guy in a good man. He was an excellent turnover. He was an excellent returner, man. Definitely enjoyed watching him. Yeah, 11 years for Keith Armstrong is way overdue. He's a good coach, but he's long overdue. The Falcons just need a different face, man. They need a different face for this team, man. It's time to move on. And I like what Dan Quinn did, man. Just start over. Start over from the. Dan Quinn already knows what he wants from the defense. It looks more and more likely that the Falcons will uh, hire Gary Kubiak. It's all over the place. So just keep an eye on that, man. Um, I enjoyed. I really. Oh my goodness! Hold on. Need to spend more. Yeah. Darrell Bevel is a guy that definitely had Maurice. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Often Darrell Bevel is a guy that has been brought up, and he's in the rumor mill. Don't know much about him, but I do know for the fact I do know that he runs a West Coast offense. Not much of a run. He didn't run called running plays in Seattle. That was more Tom Cable. So I don't know if I trust Darrell Bevel to come to Atlanta and be the offensive coordinator. I think that's a big mistake if the Falcons hire him as the offensive coordinator. Oliver is a guy that has just. I just love his size, strength. I just love his. I just love everything about Isaiah Oliver. Isaiah Oliver is one of those. You pair him with Desmond Trufant, Isaiah Oliver. Whew, man. Once Oliver really learns how to turn his head around, this guy's gonna be a hell of a player. Isaiah Oliver's gonna be a Pro Bowler. He's gonna be big, man. I love this guy's size. I love his. I just love it. I just love everything about Isaiah Oliver. It just pissed me off to see. It really just pissed me off to see uh, Robert Alford playing so bad, and you had Isaiah Oliver just rocking the bench and rocking the bench. I didn't like that, but it is what it is. I understand what Dan Quinn was doing. Robert Alford would make. Robert Alford. I think they're at the point where they're trying to audition this guy to see if they can get anything from him. That's what I think this is all about with Robert Alford. John Carter, we should have kept Steve Sarkisian and Manuel. Under what grounds should we have kept Steve Sarkisian and Mark? Did you not see the awful play calling this year on both sides of the ball? Nah, bruh. Nah. No, son. No. Nah, bruh. I totally disagree with that. Steve Sarkisian, his lack of creativity was just horrid. Horrid. Trufant is a victim of this team, man. Trufant plays better when he's allowed to do him. When Dan Quinn has him playing off, Trufant is not as good of a corner. He needs to be more aggressive. He has to be more aggressive, man. But the Falcons want him to play off, not give up big plays. That's all. That goes to play calling, man. That all go to play calling and having guys like Brian Poole and Robert Alford who just can't do their damn job. So it directly affects guys like Desmond Trufant. We may not think it, but look, man, it is. It really is. Nope, John Crowder, Kubiak. David in Atlanta, his video is coming up. You guys check out his channel, man. Uh, yeah, man. Just check it out. I always support Atlanta Falcons fan, man. Like I just love to support everybody, man. Anybody have a channel, everybody, just take a chance, take time out of your day and just sports live in Atlanta. His channel, his Falcons videos, a different perspective than myself. So I think you would enjoy it. Check it out, man. Check it out. 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 Sports Live in Atlanta. Check out your boy, the neighbors. You have Lieutenant Brown, and a lot of you guys probably already know with Voss Lombardi. Voss Lombardi is a cool ass dude, man. Even though he's a Cowboy fan, he does an excellent job of breaking down film and breaking down. He and Dan does an excellent job of breaking down players, college players, and what to expect, man. Like I said, I get a lot of my boards and from those guys, so I highly recommend those guys, man. I don't even know how to hit Jatavius Martin, who was a top 10 last year. Uh, but what have you done for me lately? That's all good last year, but this need something different. And regardless of how, regardless of how any one of us feel, Dan Quinn knows what he's doing, and Marco and Manuel, Steve Sarkisian are gone for a fucking reason. And that's all I got to say about that, man. Falcons injuries. Falcons injuries was a major problem, but it wasn't the only problem. And I address this all the time. Everyone want to say, yeah, we had injuries. Yeah, the Falcons had injuries. You can't say that the Falcons injuries don't play a part when key players are being injured. The Falcons lost key players, key starting players. Okay, they lost two starting guards. They lost pretty much the entire middle of the field. Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Deion Jones, and you lost Brandon Fusco and the Levitre. Those are five starting players. There are five starters gone. So you can't just say the injuries didn't play a part. No, it wasn't the only issue. Play calling, and lack of creativity played a major part, but definitely injuries played a part. Wasn't the only issue, but they definitely played a part. Yeah, man, I heard a lot of people wanted. A lot of people were just saying we need to lose so we can get top picks. Man, I don't worry about a damn top pick, man. What the hell good of a top pick if you can't develop the player? What the hell is good of a top pick if you can't put the right players around the player to maximize his talent? I don't give a damn about a top pick. I want these players to play with heart. All right, I want these players to play with heart, man. And like I said before, I'm not one to sit up. I do not like to get in the mentality where we're gonna say we're gonna lose on purpose so we can get a top pick. Now, if we were starting over from scratch and we need a quarterback, then you put yourself in a position where you can select a no-brainer uh, pick for quarterback. All right, that's what you do to get quarterbacks. The Falcons have their quarterback, so why the fuck are we gonna lose on purpose? Why are we losing on purpose? Don't lose on purpose, man. I don't believe in that crap. I believe in developing the players where you are. The Falcons are in an excellent position. They can move up. They have the picks and they have the players where they can make trades here and there to move up in the draft to make some moves, man. They don't need to sit up. They really do not need to have a top pick. You can get a ton of players, a ton of good players in this draft on the defensive line. There's a ton of good players in this draft. So hell no, I don't believe in tanking. Tanking for what? Ed Oliver? I'm not tanking for Ed Oliver. I'm not tanking for Quinn Williams. I'm not tanking for those guys. Hell no. And Andrew, that's a great point, man. You don't develop players in throwing games. How the hell can you develop players by throwing games? That's just a bad, you just set a bad precedent with the team, man. You don't want your team to get in. You don't want your players to get in the habit of losing on purpose. Heck no, absolutely not. No, man. Thomas Dimitrov got an extension because he's done a great job with the cap. He's done a great job with along with Dan Quinn and Scott Pioli, putting the Falcons in a position where they have playmakers both on not special teams, but defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball. Without Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitrov, this offense isn't as explosive and the defense isn't as talented. So we can sit up here and talk about the past with Thomas Dimitrov, but the last three draft classes with Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn, these guys have done an excellent job of bringing in players. I mean, you look at Duke Riley. Duke Riley's not a special player, but he's a player that can contribute to the team. You look at Foye Olakun. He's not a special player right now, but he contributed this year. You look at Isaiah Oliver, he's not a starter yet, but you can see the potential. You look at DeMonte Casey, guess what? He was drafted by Thomas Dimitroff, Dan Quinn. All right, Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, Tat McKinley. Offensively, Austin Hooper, Eric Saubert, Wes Schweitzer. A lot of these guys were drafted by Thomas Dimitroff. So all you guys are saying that Thomas Dimitroff didn't deserve an extension? I say, heck no. You guys are absolutely wrong. He deserved that. He deserved every bit of that. No, you can't get in the habit of, oh, I'm gonna tank, I'm gonna tank. Nah, bro. No, absolutely not. I just don't think that's. I think that type of attitude breeds negativity. It breeds a losing habit. All right, you can't say that we won a Super Bowl, we want to win the Super Bowl, and then turn around and say let's tank on purpose, let's lose on purpose. Get the man. Look, y'all about to bring Mad Mike out of me. Like seriously, let's tank on purpose so we can win. Like what the fuck kind of reckoning is that? What the hell kind of reckoning is that? We're gonna lose on purpose so we can get a top pick. We're gonna lose on purpose so we can get a top pick and we can go to. How does that happen? Like how the hell does that happen? Let's lose on purpose so we can get a top pick and so we can go to the Super Bowl. Like how the hell? Who the hell? What the hell kind of thinking is that? Come on, bro. That shit doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Let's move. Let's lose on purpose so we can get to the Super Bowl. Like who the hell? What the hell? Come on, people. Think. That shit makes no sense. It makes no sense. And one thing we have to understand with the Falcons, not no one player is in charge, completely in charge of everything that goes on with this organization. This is a team effort. It starts with Arthur Blank, all right, Thomas Dimitroff, Dan Quinn. These guys work. Dan Quinn, Thomas Dimitroff, and Scott Pioli work together. Okay, these guys work together to build this team. This is a collaborative effort. Dan Quinn he is simply, he gives what he wants as far as how he wants to build this team, what they want from this team, the players, the type of players that he wants, and Thomas Dimitroff, Scott Pioli go and draft those players, man. This is all a collaborative effort. So can't just put it off on one guy, all right? This is a collaborative effort. Thomas Dimitroff, Dan Quinn, Scott Pioli doing a damn good job of bringing in players. This is a collaborative effort, man. It really is. Steve Sarkisian was a huge problem. All right, and like I said, I wasn't. I really like Steve Sarkisian. I really do. But his lack of imagination, his lack of just imagination, creativity on the offense was just frustrating. He misused a lot of players. I mean, at one point we was on the field, you heard Matt Ryan's like, "Stop calling that fucking shit." We heard Matt Ryan said it. Matt Ryan screamed it out on the sidelines. Stop calling that shit. When your quarterback is saying stuff like that, play calling is a huge problem. And Shanahan was pretty bad in the first year, but they got on the same page. All right, they got on the same page. More power to them. Yeah, I saw it, David. Right, his last video last night. He was mad because we won the game. Like, how the hell are you a Falcons fans and you are mad because you won a damn game? I don't get a lot of you. I really don't get a lot of you Falcons fans. We're gonna lose on purpose so we can. You're mad because we won a game. We want to lose on purpose. I just don't get that way of thinking, man. Never get that way of thinking. I want to win. Don't matter. Like I said, I want to win no matter who it's against, how you win, as long as it's a win. I want to win. Period. Point blank. And you're not going to win with that way of thinking. Not going to win with that way of thinking, tanking on purpose. Yeah, man. This is like I said. That's fair weather fan, man. Like I said before, man. I don't give a damn how we win. As long as we win, I want to make it to the playoffs each year. Don't give a damn how we make it to the playoffs. As long as we make it to the playoffs. Once we get to the playoffs, anything and everything can happen. You just need to get players. Players just need to get hot, man. We'll play the AFC South, NFC West next year. We won. We was in second place uh, this year, so we will play the AFC South. Whoever finished second place in the AFC South and the NFC West next year. You play to win the game. Exactly. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, man. Don't give. I do not. Like I said before, man. I don't give a damn how we win. I don't think anybody cares how you win as long as you win. The Patriots is one of the most the winning organizations in the history of football. Now there are some speculation of how they did it, whether they cheated or not. That's up for debate. But the motherfuckers won. Alright? And that's all that matters. They got 5 rings. So, like I said before, I don't really care how we win as long as we win. That's all it's about, man. That's all it's about. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of I'm really tired of the fans, being upset because we didn't get a number 1 pick, a number 3 pick, a top 5 pick. Come on, man. It's all about developing players, man. Not the top picks. I mean, do you guys remember what happened to Jamal Anderson, the defensive end for the Atlanta Falcons? No, nobody remembers. Nobody remembers what happened to him. So it's not so much about where and who you pick, it's how you can develop these players, man. It's all about development. But man, I'm going to end this. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody for tuning into this live, man. Stay tuned for more updates for the Atlanta Falcons. I have a couple of videos that I want to post today. But you guys, please, everyone in this live in this chat, man, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, man. Every subscriber helps, man. Every time you guys subscribe to this channel, all right, you're adding, you're helping your boy, you're helping your boy out. Myself and Lieutenant Dan, all right, you're helping us continue to provide more content in a positive place where Atlanta Falcons fans can come without all the constant negativity. That's what it's all about, man. All right, I appreciate it, man. Your boy Mad Mike is out, man. Peace.